You're arrested for your guns, and you're arrested for your speech. You're arrested for the way you look and for the things you preach. You're arrested if you do, and you're arrested if you don't, and you're told that you must still comply. Arrested if you build a pond or give a man a fish. You're arrested if you grow a plant or teach a man to fish. Killed if you will not comply, or trampled if you won't. While patriotic citizens, your rights, they say, revoke. It's the day in America set aside to remember when our founding fathers stepped up and killed the police. Said no more to the tyranny, the abuse, the denial of due process, the taxation without representation. Hither swarms of officers to harass us and to eat out our substance. It is the day when America remembers founding fathers who stepped up and said, we will kill you for continuing to violate our rights. Of course, it didn't start on July 4th, 1776. It actually goes back decades before then as the tyrannies grew and rose and people objected and other people said, no, we need to be loyal and we need to honor the officers and we need to write letters and we need to petition the king and redress our grievances. And so for many years, they did, as some urged caution, principle, and care in moving forward, and still others urged that we should subject ourselves to the authority of the king. Over a year before, on the Lexington-Concord Road, is when the battles really begin in earnest. As more than 20 militias from the surrounding countryside came out to the Lexington and Concord Road and did not simply defend themselves against the officers of the British Army. They chased them down the road, hiding cover in the trees all afternoon long, and killed them one after another after another. 4th of July is not about waving flags and pageantry. It's a day for celebrating independence only if you have independence. The peerage, the new kings of America, the fat cats from both parties in their politicians and their friends and their cronies, expanding the tyrannies, expanding the police state. It's a day to mourn the loss of the independence we no longer have in a nation where everything is illegal. In a nation where the finest defenders of liberty are rotting away in the concentration camps that we call prisons, locked away for fake crimes with fake charges, denied trial, denied bail, every listed, enumerated abuse in the declaration that was signed on July 4th, 1776 has been obliterated and surpassed by this government of these now disunited states. As we load up our flags and our Celebrate Freedom banners and take them down to a park, walking in, we read the sign that says, no fireworks allowed, no tents allowed, no guns allowed, no open flames allowed, no pets allowed, no music allowed, no freedom allowed. The idea of celebrating on this 4th of July, which is meant to remember the stand, the bold stand of treason that our founding fathers made against the crown. It's a day that when we do not have freedom and independence any longer as in America, it is a day to mourn and to remember the rebellion against tyranny brought forward by our founding fathers. Not with a mind for violence, but with a mind for the principle to stand up and shame and resist and oppose the government of these United States, from the federal to the state to the local, who have universally declared war upon the people's rights and liberties. Violence should be our last resort, and we should seek to resolve our differences with bold resistance, but with peace. We should seek to resolve our differences with love for neighbor, not with bloodshed. This is not a call to arms, but a call to mourning that leads to humility, that leads to action, to pretend at freedom on a day like this would be the greatest dishonor, and I, for one, will mourn the loss of freedom and make no pretense that the officers, that the new redcoats who we call the Blue Line have any part with protecting or defending our freedom, that our politicians or legislators who regulate and control every aspect of our lives and lock us in prison, whether we be white or black or Mexican, Chinese, Christian, Muslim, patriot or liberal, that these men have any part with the freedom that my founding fathers stood up. And so I appeal to heaven in my boldness. And I plead for mercy that the hearts of this nation may be opened, that our nationalism will be cast aside, and that we will not have to spill the blood anew that our founding fathers did to regain that lost liberty.